Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for game number 4 of the WePlay Dota 2 League Grand Final Season 2. Our $25,000 Season 2 is about to wrap up. 19,000 of those dollars will be handed out over the course of this series. Right now, Alliance holding the lead, and a decisive one to some extent, 2-1. They've looked a lot more solid overall. But we now go into game 4, and Na'Vi still have a chance. If they win 2 in a row, they will bounce back and take the series. I'm LD. Of course, you know Luminous, but we are joined here on the phone by Bulba. Bulba, how you doing, buddy?
Hi guys. I'm doing fine.
So, what do you think of the game so far? I believe you were scrimming, but I knowing you've probably been watching on your second monitor or something like that.
I was watching the games and I saw the drafts as well. I think the first game, it was pretty much an out pick. I don't really know what Na'Vi was going for with those picks. I think the Klinks mid is like really bad. Like that hero needs free farm or he needs to go Midas or something. And then the second game, Funnick just outplayed Alliance really hard and he won them the game, I think. Because Alliance was coming back and S4 didn't usually, like, he plays a lot better. And that game, I guess it was really hard because Clockwork's very good versus Mag. So it was hard for him getting RPs. And then the last game, I thought it was a huge outpick. Like Alliance got Visage Batrider and Visage Batrider
and
is
Bulldog
enough.
Druid.
Yeah, I mean Visage Batrider is enough, I think. And then the trade that Puppy got was like Lich, and I think Lich is actually pretty overrated this patch. Both teams are kind of banning it, but I think if one of the teams pick Lich, I think the other team has an advantage with the trade. Because the other heroes in the pool right now are a lot stronger than Lich. I think Venomancer is very strong, Visage is very strong. Obviously, Furion for Alliance is very strong. And then the offlaners, like the 3 offlaners right now, are like Bounty Hunter, Timbersaw,
and Clockwork.
And Clockwork. So if you notice, they're really afraid of the Bounty Hunter, of Na'Vi getting Bounty Hunter, so they're banning that every game. And they're also afraid of the Nakes. And it's just like you don't want to give Funnick one of those heroes. And then they have, in case Na'Vi takes the Timbersaw, they'll counterpick the Timbersaw with the Venomancer. So that's why Venomancer is really popular this series as well.
So real fast, how is Veno a counter to Timbersaw? I haven't heard that one before.
I think Veno is really good versus Timbersaw on the lane. Like if you offlane the Timbersaw and then the other team has a safe lane Veno, and you get Poison Sting level 1, you can't lane at all. It's really hard to lane. So it's just in the laning phase, Veno's just so good at team fighting. Like you have the Poison Sting wards now, and then you just go in, and then it's just the magic damage is really broken, I think, and that's why it's like top pick every one of these games.
Yeah, and I guess the reactive armor doesn't really help you against all that magic damage. So
yeah,
pretty good in that regard. Coming into the series, I think we were on the same page with you as far as our analysis that it seems like it's mostly coming down to the drafts here. Na'Vi, the team that's trailing, so I guess they're the team we should talk about. What should they be doing differently? Should they just be going to like their signature drafts? You know, get like the Dendy Puck, Havost on Lifestealer Weaver, like what they normally do. Where can they improve as far as their drafting goes?
It's hard, I think, because both teams are trying to like ban the stuff that the other team is very good at. And right now, I think Alliance is stronger with more things in this patch than Na'Vi is. So they're getting the better trade in every one of these games. I think Visage is obviously Na'Vi's best hero, I think, overall. And then I think they should pick more like the second game. Like they had an overall game plan. But last game, they had like the really, really greedy lanes. Like they had a Enigma Sanking Spectre lane.
Yeah.
And it was just pretty bad. And then they had a Lich. I think Lich off lane is really, like solo, like having it not be a support is like pointless. That hero does, like the hero already gets levels. You want him to be with another laner, or you want him to just be like getting mass experience as a support. So
I put you on record earlier today, Bulba. You said 70% chance Alliance wins Columbus. I assume the other 30% chance is that Team Liquid takes it.
30% every.
We've got your bosses here. They want to hear you being saying positive things about Liquid. Hayoka and Hotbit are not happy with this lack of confidence in your team.
No, it's 70% Alliance and 30% Pretty Boy Swag.
Pretty Boy Swag. Okay. Yeah. Are you announcing your departure soon to PBS?
No, I think they have a great team.
Okay.
And they're gonna win MLG.
All right. Well, Bulba, thank you for lending us your insight. The draft is getting underway, so we're gonna hop into the cast. But if you're available, maybe we'll have you back to break down Game 4. I will ask you to put you on the spot and say, is Alliance just gonna 3-1 this? Can Na'Vi force a Game 5? Do you even think they have a chance to win?
For the sake of the series and every time these two teams have played, they'll always went to Game 5. So God wants there to be a Game 5.
Let there be a Game 5.
Let there be a Game 5. Eternal Envy wants a Game 5.
We hope and we pray. We'll see if it comes to pass. Sama, he has demanded it.
5 seconds.
Okay.
We'll see if our Lord and Savior can deliver it. Oh, his former team. Okay, thanks for joining us, Bulba. But yeah, we'll hop into the draft now, and his former teammates and from No Tidehunter, looking pretty good coming into this game, Lumi. They did go for the Lich, and according to Bulba, he thinks it's kind of like a trap pick. They first picked it.
Trap pick as an offlaner is what he said. As a support, I don't think he touched on it too much. But you probably want to put on your audio for Dota TV.
Wait, do I leave now?
I'm
Alright,
already good.
Cool. So, very illuminating stuff from Boba. Apart from the Pretty Boy
10
swag
seconds
versus Alliance in the
remaining.
MLG Grand Final, I don't think I could put money on that bet. But yeah,
5 seconds remaining.
I'm just disappointed at this lack of confidence in Liquid, man. Where's
Navi's
these? Where's
turn
the? We're
to
gonna win
pick.
TI4. We're the best.
I like Sam. He's a realist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sometimes you need to be an optimist, though. So they go first pick Lich. Navi gets the Visage Clockwork, and Visage, Veno seem to be like the two most favored and kind of strongest supports in this patch, along with the junglers for these two teams. They generally use the Chen and Enchantress very effectively. Alliance then goes back for the
10
Timbersaw.
seconds
Rare to see
remaining.
him not banned on this series. The reason he gets through is that Prophet was banned,
5
which hasn't been
seconds
every game,
remaining.
and also Veno was banned, which also hasn't been every game. So Alliance then go
Reserve
Timbersaw,
time.
and this hero is very obnoxious to deal with, but I still think Navi's draft is like classic kind of Navi, and I think this style suits them very well.
Yeah, I mean, we just heard Boba talking about Visage and Batrider being two of the best places to start with, and Navi had that option, but instead they went for Clockwork. I think Clockwork's just a central piece of this kind of drafting war between the two teams. Seen so far, I think the team with Clockwork has won every single game. So
Alliance's
if things line
turn
up,
to
it's
pick.
Clockwork that's going to be taking game 4 for Navi, and maybe going for a deciding game 5.
And this, this is really reminding me of how Navi was drafting like in 6.78. I mean, that's the Havos Gyrocopter,
Yeah.
the Visage for Kuroki. You've got your Puppy Chen. The Clockwork, we saw them pick that. Maybe this would have been a Batrider in a previous patch, but this is like your very prototypical Navi draft.
Yeah. Critically, though, some of these heroes got nerfed.
10
Some of the
seconds
playstyle of the heroes got
remaining.
nerfed. So you cannot play the heroes the exact same way. Mio Alliance go back for
Navi's
Luna,
turn
so
to ban.
we're seeing I don't think they're picked with the Wombo combo in mind, but there's that thing, the Earthshaker clearing up the creeps, and then you have Eclipse and Chain Frost doing most of the work as well. So
if you look at the overall bans for Navi, they spent 3 of them on Bulldog heroes: the
10
Prophet, the
seconds
Bounty
remaining.
Hunter, as well as
Doom.
the Lone Druid. And this is also
Alliance's
actually,
turn
I
to
would say,
ban.
another Bulldog ban, because we've seen him go jungle and Lone Druid before. Not commonly, but he has done it in the past. So what's actually left at this point? There's a Dark Seer, which he plays once in a while. There's a Batrider, which he can play.
10 seconds
They,
remaining.
I mean, normally people, say you can't ban out Bulldog because what are you
5
going to do?
seconds
Spend all of
remaining.
your bans on
they kind of just did.
his heroes? But if you get to the end of the draft and his hero hasn't been picked
Navi's
yet, maybe you
turn
can
to
ban out
pick.
Bulldog. I guess he could play Timbersaw, but
I mean, he's gonna play Timbersaw, right?
yeah, normally it's S4 who does it for Alliance.
That's true. And
But-
also, Alliance just banned out Batrider.
Do we see a Bulldog glitch? I don't think so.
Storm Spirit is alive.
Okay.
Storm Spirit. Okay, I like this draft from
Alliance's
Navi.
turn to pick.
And the Storm Spirit, actually, there's not much lockdown for him. There's a Fissure and a Lucent Beam. That is it.
I wonder if Puppy feeling like the stuff I'm trying is just not working. Let's just go back to what we know it works. And this is 6.78.
Hey, this is the grand finals of El Clasico. You got to go back to the good stuff, and they'll do it here.
Yeah.
What's the last hero gonna be? There is a Puck. If they want to run the Bulldog Timbersaw, they can run a Puck
10
mid,
seconds
and I think they
remaining.
need something like a Puck because otherwise they just have no way to deal with the storm.
What about the
5
Hani
seconds
offlane
remaining.
Earthshaker? What about that?
Queen
What?
of
Wow, I thought they would definitely go Puck here, but they do get more of like a semi carry. It comes at the expense of not having great lockdown.
I mean, you have a very long range and guaranteed lockdown with Earthshaker every single time. So I think the rest you have to kind of tie things over with a quick Scythe of Ice on Queen of Pain. I think that's almost a necessity. I think Orchid overall a lot better of an item because you get it much quicker. But like you said, there's no lockdown whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like if they fissure and then there's a Lich in range to Frost Blast and there's a Luna in range to Lucent Beam and they get off a Chakram, yeah, sure, they can kill the storm, but rarely do things work out that perfectly. Like, normally you fissure, you maybe get off 1 or 2 nukes, and then he zips out. So we will just have to wait and see if they can deal with the Storm in the mid game. I think that's where Alliance are really banking on S4 winning his lane. I'm assuming he's going mid, although his build looks like a side lane build. So we'll talk about the lanes in just one sec, but we should introduce our 2 titans of Dota, the competitors, Alliance versus Na'Vi. These teams always push each other to the limit, bettering each other in the process, and we start with the Alliance. They lead 2-1. They're in the driver's seat for this best of 5. We have EGM on the Earthshaker. S4 going to be playing the Queen of Pain. Ake on the support Lich. No off-lane Lich for Bulldog. Who am I kidding? That puts Loda onto the Luna, and then it will be Bulldog on the Timbersaw, which I will say he doesn't play a whole lot of, but in some ways it is similar to a Clockwork.
So I think this is a fairly interesting way to lane the Luna. Luna solo mid's obviously been done before. I'm actually guessing this is going to be your dual lane mid with Lich sacrificing a creep and then just basically sitting there. Meanwhile here for Na'Vi, they're down 1 game in the best of 5 series. If they lose this, they're done. It's going to be Funnick, who had a magnificent game too, and Boba Word carry his team to a victory. Let's see if he's going to have a similar performance.
Yeah, he has 14 kills and like 13 assists in that game. That was ridiculous.
Insane stuff. He's playing Clock. Dendy's going to be your solo mid Storm. He's going to have a very tough matchup if he does lane against the dual lane solo mid, or dual lane mid. Puppy on his famous Chen. We have Kuroki on his Visage. And then we have Havos playing Gyrocopter, the tried and true carry hero of 6.78.
As for Alliance, they do opt to put that dual lane mid. So they'll give the Queen of Pain the protected safe lane farm, which suggests to me that they are just, their #1 priority is getting the Orchid for S4. Because, I mean, otherwise, Queen of Pain does well against Storm 1v1. At worst, it's a wash. You generally don't lose your lane there. And Queen of Pain is a lot more defensible. So they'll try and slow down that Storm with the denies, but I think more importantly, they try and get the fast Orchid here for S4.
Yeah. One thing about the new Storm on the Radiant side is you can actually take advantage of the big creeps now. You could just stack it when you have the free time to do so, which he doesn't have right now, but eventually he can. And then he could either help Chen to get more experience or help himself get more experience down the road. We'll see if he's going to be making that play a little bit later on.
Yeah, and of course, Denny being up against the Lich, his level 6 may come a bit slower than it normally would. Maybe it gives them a window to gank him with the Earthshaker rotating off top, like right around that 4 to 5 minute mark. You'll have a level 2 Lucent Beam, a level 2 Frost Blast, and that's where Denny could end up going down. But Puppy may look to change that. He's stacking some neutrals now, and will be farming them with spamming shockwaves into them. So Puppy's going to do pretty well on his Chen. He's not being contested. The other winners for Na'Vi is the support for Kuroki, as well as their safe lane Havos. So 3 of their heroes doing well. The other 2 are struggling a lot.
Yeah, it seems like Funny's actually done a good job in terms of keeping down S4's farm, actually forcing out a clarity or 2 here from S4. S4 obviously harassing Funny quite well, blinking forward just to cancel a clarity. That's nice. But for the most part, you expect S4 to dominate this lane much more, especially the fact that he's getting backup from an Earthshaker.
Yeah, Reina Basilius up on S4 as well, which is an unusual Queen of Pain item, but gives you that mana regen. He won't be controlling the runes early. And we'll just have to wait and see if Funnick continues to experience the same success. I think it gets harder for him once Queen of Pain hits like that level 4 to 5 mark, gets up her boots. At that point, you can run down the Clockwork a bit better. You can actually burst him, or at least take away like half his health with a Scream, but I don't know if they'll be able to get that kill.
Yeah. The other good thing for running a solo or dueling mid against a Dendi is that you get your support to grab the runes, and you sometimes get a very lucky Invis rune like this. Dendi might actually go down here. He does have 6 base armor, so I think he can withstand a couple of physical hits. Yeah, Dendi just knows Aki's missing, and he can't even go up to the creep wave. That's also the other advantage you have. It's almost more dangerous to not see the support in lane than seeing him kind of standing behind Loda.
Yeah, it's definitely more dangerous. And he has a ward bottom, knows the rune did not spawn there, so... Well, in the end, Ake just going to hang out.
Yeah, a lot of hanging out in the mid lane.
Yeah, it does stop Denny from farming for a wave, but it also means Lich is not denying during that time, so... It's not a big win for them, but... Yeah, Dendy's just playing the matchup as best he can. He's got 6 CS. He knows he can't be aggressive here. He knows he's being basically the object of, you know, a lot of focus for Alliance. They really want to shut him down, but Na'Vi will just look to make their trades elsewhere. It will come from Puppy, who hits level 3 in the jungle already. It will come from your safe lane Gyro for Havos, who is topping the farm charts at 20 and 8. 3 minutes in. Basically perfect CS.
Yeah, and going back to Dendy, he's just having a really tough time. I actually checked Loda's skill build. He didn't rank up Lucent Beam at 3. In fact, he put that point in Aura. Normally, it doesn't mean too much, because you know, the enemy is not going to get much last hits anyways because you're being zoned out by supports. But in this case, Lich with plus 22 damage is out last hitting a Storm Spirit. So if you look at Dendy's CS, he's got 6 and 1. And Lich, not only is he using Sacrifice to deny, and not only is Loda also denying, Lich is also joining the denying war with 2 so far. I think Dendy's not going to have a good time at all this game. And Storm Spirit is one of those heroes that you need more than just level 6. You need level 6 and like...
And some items.
Items, yeah.
Even though, you know, I mentioned their lack of lockdown for Storm, that could change this game because S4 on your safe lane is basically getting free farm as Queen of Pain. And if you get free farm and you rush the Orchid, what do you have it at? Like 12, 13 minutes, possibly? Maybe more like 15 if he goes Treads first, which he'll probably do. But yeah, he'll have a fast Orchid if he wants to go for it. And then shutting down Dendy and getting a fast Orchid could mean a useless Storm all game
Funnick got
long.
blocked by like a ton of creeps in, and here comes S4.
And he dropped his cogs.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they can get this kill.
He's got cogs back up. He should be okay, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's... Even when Clockwork gets fissure blocked for like a full, what, 10 seconds there? Doesn't matter.
Just looking at
what a hero.
EGM's cosmetic item. What the hell is this? Like a 2 tree trunks stuck together or what?
No, it's just like the... I've got a big stick on my back.
Right.
Item. The core of Stone Shard Majesty.
You need a couple more adjectives in there. Not enough.
It's quite a name. Yeah. Sounds like a Diablo item again. I've got my my hack and slashes on the game today for some reason. Hoping for some hacking and slashing from these teams as we head towards the mid game. The laning stage will continue for another 5 minutes or so, but very passive farm war, and overall, Dendy's been shut down. The offlane Clockwork's doing pretty well, although he's not farming well, but he's getting a lot of experience. Jungle Chen is doing great. Navi's defensive dual lane is doing great. I want to say this is a decent win for Navi through the laning stage, and yeah, the graphs are supporting that. Up by 1,000 gold, up by 1,500 experience.
Yeah, and Navi, again, you know, mid having trouble, but everywhere else doing okay. And really, I think they need to do more than okay, because having a Storm that's not doing much early game, he's more like a utility initiator. You zip in, you pull, and you hope things go well, because you're out of mana, and you can't really do much beyond that.
Denny will rotate back. He just wanted to get a little experience out of the jungle. His level 6 nearly secured, but meanwhile, top lane, the first blood comes. Funnick just caught the very tail end of it, but looks like he maybe got his fissure blocked in and then brought down. S4 didn't even need to use his ult there.
Yeah, didn't have ult, like just with standard scream and strikes, and a couple of right clicks. So S4 farming well, getting that first blood, that really helps. He's already working towards his orchids when Storm has basic boots, and here comes Storm being smoked up. This can't get any more obvious because Storm has been missing. Normally, you'd think Storm, though, is jungling, though, because he can do that. But it looks like the smoke might get canceled. Lich coming around. A little bit ping. They didn't see the Lich, and it looks like they're going to go for Admiral Bulldog. Cancels the smoke, and he...
Smoke will be revealed by Bulldog. Nobody even saw him. It's nighttime. They're very confused.
They know. Bulldog knows, right? He walks right back, and, well...
Does he know? He just walked right back into them, and he's going to end up dying. I don't... Did he actually...
He pinged there. He pinged, so he kind of did.
I don't know. That's one I'd have to watch the replay to fully understand what was going on there. But ends up dying. I guess that's the ultimate result.
Okay.
And Bulldog on Timbersaw, you compare what he's done to this offlane Clockwork, and I gotta say, I think Funnick is having a much higher impact. He's constantly forcing their Shaker to just hang around. Sure, he gave up first blood, but Bulldog's not farming, and if you're going to have one of these heroes not farming, you'd much rather be the Clockwork than the Timbersaw. Timbersaw needs the items.
Although Timbersaw can catch up quite a lot easier. He could blow through his mana for like Shockring and Whirling Death a little bit later on if he wants to do so. Clockwork doesn't have that luxury. He kind of is relegated into ganking and whatnot. And if you look at Funnick's skill build, he's forced to actually get more rocket flares. Generally, you want to be at more battery assault.
Oh, they found him. Calldown's off the mark, and Bulldog should be okay. Can Whirling Blade out of these trees. Just Tang goes through.
Walks out of it. But the rocket's going to hit, and that means a rocket barrage.
Can't die for this, or can you?
Yes, rocket barrage.
Test of the faith.
The big deeps.
Test of the faith just makes the difference there. Now they'll go in onto Ake, level 5, doesn't have Chain Frost yet, but S4 joins the party. He wants some blood. Will he find it? He goes on Puppy, level 6, Hand of God still available. Oh, now Puppy at Eclipse comes through, but Loda just gets slaughtered by all the nuke damage of Navi. Navi are just steamrolling Alliance. They get 4 kills. Alliance get the 1 retaliation kill. Havos dove deep for that, and I feel like 9 out of 10 carry players just say, you know what, I whiffed my call down. He's tangoed through successfully. We're going to just feed if we go
not
back
Havos.
off of it. Not Havos. It wouldn't have worked without Puppy though. They needed that test of faith to get the kill.
Yeah, that you know the damage is gonna be coming. I was surprised the Eclipse did so little. Good jukes around the trees.
And Chen creeps, I think, might have tanked one beam or something.
One or two. Definitely tanked enough so that Loda was the first one to drop. So a ton of experience going towards the Na'Vi players. I think Na'Vi's off to their kind of good start that they need, and they could snowball off of this.
And this is more of your prototypical Na'Vi draft. Chavost on a very aggressive laning hero, someone that can get involved early. You have Funnick on a true tempo controller. Dendi, I'm not used to having this bad of a start. Normally, Dendi gets a lot of help from Puppy and Kuroki if he's being challenged, but this game, they've just decided that they'll leave him to his own devices. He'll find his way back in later on. But I guess for me, for Alliance right now, I feel like the one thing that turns this game around is if S4 goes Orchid, but he's really not going to have it that fast. I mean, he spent like a good, what is this, 3,000 gold? 3,300 gold on purely utility items. Doesn't even have a single Oblivion staff for the makings of one yet.
Yeah, I mean, he did get First Blood, so that should tie him over a bit, but perhaps a Magic Wand upgrade isn't what he's looking for. Maybe just leave it a stick and just go for the big rush. It's like you said, you know, the Ring of Basilius, you know, that's your no talisman in other games, so I wouldn't say that it's, you know, a pointless investment. At the same time, he's not getting that quick Orchid, even though he's got the safe lane farm. He's also very afraid right now.
And the reason we're dwelling on it is if he doesn't get an Orchid, how does Alliance really force fights and get aggressive here? I don't know how they do it. Lich is not a good hero for that. Luna's not good for it until she gets a big item like a BKB. We'll see some fissure blocking from Alliance. They want to start doing some ancient pulling.
Another possibility that they can do.
But
the tree that
Bulldog ate earlier completely ruins the fissure.
Bulldog's just like, this is some next level trap. They are stopping the creep equilibrium. Look at this, just
doing this at 10 minutes is just not really ideal. Meanwhile, a hookshot did fly middle lane, Funnick slightly off the mark.
So one way that Alliance could take these fights, wait for Na'Vi to come into you when you have things like Shock Realm as well as Fissure. And then you have explosive spells like Sonic Wave and Eclipse. You can just turn things around. And the Chain Frost on top. So that's one possibility of them taking a fight. Just let Na'Vi ram into them.
The teleport comes to the top lane. It will be your Earthshaker for EGM. Tucks himself back behind the tree line. Will be looking to protect S4 here. But Dendi, he's looking to leap. At a moment's notice, he could go. Hookshot is not available. Zip in. They're going to pull it back. Fissure is going to fly. Centaur Stomp came through, though.
Yep.
Oh, no. Nicely chain stun.
It was beautifully done. And there was another bird. No, actually, both of the birds came down as well. Funnick didn't even need to use Hook.
Oh, yeah. Only one of them stunned, it looked like.
Oh, okay.
But still, that was enough.
Yeah, so again, the Orchid that we've been dwelling upon is
not happening.
Yeah, not happening soon, and I think Dendi might even get there quicker. I mean, Dendi's already got maybe
already ahead.
Yeah. What do you know, man? Dendi still does it. Somehow.
I mean, you go back to the laning stage. You did point out Funnick was somewhat slowing down the Queen of Pain's farm. Funnick was just punishing Na'Vi more. Like he wasn't necessarily getting more.
Funnick gave up First Blood though to the Queen of Pain. Like. That alone should have at least
made up for it.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it did though.
The other big thing was he TP'd bottom into that fight that just didn't really go well for them. I think he got one kill, but not really enough to justify missing like 4 or 5 waves top lane.
Yeah. Well then, seems like you need more than sacrifice and massive damage to stop Dendi mid and 2 heroes because his team kind of bailed him out with the... Well, not bail him out is a very strong word, but Puppy, for example, stacking the medium camp quite a bit, so he was able to catch up there. He was being led into fight and getting a couple of kills. So then he played the catch up, and well, the bot lane's going to be Havolt getting Chain Frost. Drops a call down. He's just going right back to Lich. Ake says no. I want to be here.
What is this, Dota? Now the God's coming out. Loda's out of range. He gets one Lucid Beam on a Vos, and now this is just going to be a train wreck for the Alliance. They're actually trying to go in. They still want this kill on Havos. He'll finally go down. Well, he does get bailed out a bit there. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Dendi zips in. Solo kill on the Queen of Pain? No, had some help from the familiars, but another death for this Queen of Pain. And I mean, Havos, let's be honest, that's a huge win, even though he dies. They invested a lot into that.
And Havos obviously didn't have to die. He was home free, and then he decides to go back in.
He was trying to bait them into coming in a little bit more, and then they would have given up additional kills.
That's classic Havos, man, trying to bait.
Yeah.
When he's at 100 HP.
Best
well, that's good.
It's best time to bait.
I suppose.
Because that's irresistible bait.
It worked out there for Loda. But tier 1 tower gonna get denied. No, it's gonna get lasted. Sonic Waves off the mark, at least on the Chen. Puppy will go down regardless, not before dropping a spell. Kuroki walking up the high ground, needs to get out of there. I think he was microing his couriers there, but here comes Havos. The big bad daddy's here. He's gonna get at least EGM, I think. Okay, there you go.
Clink gets that kill. Now Dendy's into the fray. They want S4. That's 3 dead. And Na'Vi really seizing the reins of this game number 4. Now leading by 8,000 gold, 8,000 experience. And you just got to go back to the lanes and say that Alliance invested a lot in shutting
Alliance
down
had
Dendy.
better lanes. Well,
Dire's middle
they shut
tower
down
is under
Dendy.
attack.
They were supposed to win the top. They did. They got first blood. Timbersaw was doing semi-okay. I think just that one fight...
Clockwork definitely did better than Timbersaw. Even though he didn't give up first blood, though, he did a lot more work. He doesn't need the farm as much, and
He definitely got more levels.
he got more levels, which is ultimately the main goal.
I think it was just that fight in this part of the jungle, which is so awkward, where Loda made a TP, drop Eclipse, and just died.
Yeah, he
So-
like ran through here and just never got the vision.
And then Loda, I don't know, that Eclipse earlier also didn't hit anything. It's just a tough game for Alliance. Like, maybe they're just off the comfort zone, I want to say, because of the different laning. I'm not sure, because when's the last time you've seen S4 not at mid lane?
Yeah. Obviously, we can see what the game plan was, which is we just want to shut down Dendy as hard as possible, because we don't have great ways to deal with them otherwise, but the execution just was kind of lacking, and it cost them.
Funnick trapped. He's getting shotgun. He hooks back out on EGM, and
May go down here. Fisher's cooling down. Echo Slam's available.
EGM can't chase more than this. He needs to...
Denny's going to snipe him on the backside if they're not careful.
Okay.
So Alliance are roaming as 5 and not farming at all. And Na'Vi are looking to fight. And this is just... It's like the
Dire's
opposite of what
bottom
Alliance
tower
are
is
normally
under
doing,
attack.
which is that bend but don't break. Not that you don't fight, but you take the fights that come
take
to you.
smart fights.
Yeah. They're like 5-man clumping and not even fighting at all.
Pavos has a BKB. Very early activation of a BK TP. He gets out of there. The rest of the Na'Vi, though, very much so in the enemy jungle and getting complete map control. When you have map control, wards in the enemy jungle, and a Storm, that's a recipe for disaster for the enemy team. And right now, Storm doesn't even have to work it, but it's not stopping him from getting 3 kills and assists. Right now, Dendy's very effective as a Storm.
You know, the other thing I do want to point out about that dual lane mid is as much as it slows down your farm, it's not a kill lane. Luna Lich don't kill Storm unless he decides to be an idiot. Or Earthshaker roams in. But Earthshaker never really came mid, so... I think that's where, as much as the Lich on paper is a good pick, like, maybe if you put him with a hero that has better kill power, like a CK or... I don't know what... Well, I was going to say Tiny, but he's not that good. Even like a Clockwork or something, but... When you pair him up with a
Dire's
Luna,
top tower
it's like, great,
is
you've
under
slowed down
attack.
this farm, but you haven't killed him. And he'll catch up. Storm's a good farmer in the mid game.
Clockwork Hook's gonna find EGM, and he's gonna try to use that big whatever totem's called. And
I love that hilarious dance when Earthshaker keeps on... He's like...
I think he's the most fun hero. I think Naga, obviously her animation isn't as ridiculous. But yeah. Meanwhile, Havos is dying somewhere. Looks like spot.
Okay. Gets picked off here by Alliance. 4 heroes,
Oh,
but big
Storm.
zip in from Dendy. Now he's got an Orchid. He's going to get loaded here as well. Dendy's about to turn 2.
What a player.
Huge win. Remember, this guy got dual lane mid.
He's
by a
about to
Lich.
die though, I think. Yeah.
No, he's still got
Hand of
mana,
God?
Hand
Okay.
of God. He even wants to go back in. I don't think he should be going back in here.
Oh,
Fisher waiting
Dendy.
in reserve.
Oh,
What?
It's stuck.
Timbersog still getting the kill anyway. Bulldog might fall here to Kuroki though. Does he have a soul? Somebody? No, gets dunked. Gets slammed.
Where's the burst
Where's
stun?
that jam?
There's stun. Okay, more stun, and he's still alive, I think, but Queen of Pain's gonna come in and clean up.
Well, they just gave up 3 kills there. Pretty expensive stuff, but they do take the tier 2 top. They do get the double kill on Dendy.
I mean,
slight
Radiant's
victory
bottom
for Alliance.
tower.
Then he
perhaps.
could have just got 2 kills clean and just went back out, but you know, with that mindset, he wasn't even go for the first kill. He is always aggressive.
Funnick will amble through the river. Has been spotted out here by an observer ward though, and might look to make a play with a hook shot.
Oh, he's gonna rocket and double kill, right?
No, he rocketed the wrong place. Now he might just be in trouble. Eats some nukes to start. Fissure to follow. He's got to find this hook in on EGM, and he can't. Gives up another kill. Well, this is how Alliance like to play. Let you make the mistakes, let you come to them, while you farm as efficiently as possible. And Na'Vi are falling into a trap, just playing a little bit sloppy and over greedy.
I mean, it is sloppy play, but at the end of the day, Na'Vi is still up by 10,000 gold. There is Orchid on the Storm, and Queen of Pain is forced to go BKB. That's not where you want to be on a safe lane Queen of Pain. So all things are still very much so aligned for Na'Vi. Na'Vi needs to close it out, though. This is not a team where you dilly-dally around against. And Na'Vi knows that the best. And they're going to go straight up top. The TP is going to get canceled. Then he's got a double damage. There's no Eclipse available because Lotus silence. And then he is leaving his fingerprints all over.
Where
his
did he
system.
start? Did he start like here with the
He
zip?
started at the, like the ruin spot.
That is a really long range zip.
Yeah, maybe over here like you circled.
Yeah, like he used almost his entire mana pool in getting there, but it's the power of the Orchid. You have that regen, it'll come right back, and they keep on killing Loda. It's where if he had a BKB, he can BKB TP out of most of those ganks, but not able to do so.
He's very far off from that BKB. In fact, Kavos looks like they're going to try to one more gank on him. Fissure and Loosen Beams and things like that, or maybe Sonic Wave. So you got to burst him down before he pops the BKB. If it does, you have no chance.
Yeah, they need to use every single spell here. They'll start with the Fissure, but not the best timing.
Yeah.
S4 leaping forward right before EGM drops the Fissure, but it looked like Havos was going to back anyway.
Yeah, Havos was really close to the tower. And even if they gone on him, there's a BKB after. There's Dendi teleporting in. And speaking of BKB, once Dendi gets his BKB, this game is perhaps out of reach for Alliance.
Yeah, these teams going blow for blow. It's game 4. In game 1, well, we saw Na'Vi just cruise to a pretty convincing victory, but then Alliance bounced back. They took games 2 and 3, and here we are in game 4. Maybe it's the pendulum swings the other way, Lumi, and perhaps we see Na'Vi get their feet back under them as we head into what could be a deciding game 5. Can they do it? We'll just have to wait and see. For now, Alliance, just a lineup that doesn't, I don't know. They have some decent late game cores, but I just feel like they're underwhelming cores, especially your Luna. Luna doesn't really get strong until she gets like 3 or 4 items. Queen of Pain, you at least need BKB Hex, and that's a lot for him to farm. Whereas you look at a Boast, he's going to have a Demon Edge soon after the Helm of the Dominator. And Na'Vi can look towards Roche very quickly. And I think when they have their big items, Alliance will still be only halfway to the items they need to take those fights.
Yeah, I mean, that previous gank on Loda by Dendi just show you that you can't even leave the base and farm, because a casual Rocket Flare reveals your position and possibly Dendi flying in and just get 2 kills. So they can't farm, they can't really gank, because the person they try to gank Havos, well, he just BKB, or they didn't even really execute that gank well. I feel like Na'Vi is so ahead in all cylinders that this should be just a kind of a formulaic push, you know, for all the tier 2s.
Yeah,
with that said,
don't make any horrible glaring errors, and it should be their game.
With that said, Alliance does have the Wombo combo. Like, you could just have that one random team fight where 3 or 4 people from Na'Vi just get wiped because you have an Eclipse, Echo Slam, and a Sonic Wave on top.
Here comes an Invis Dendi. Alliance are not prepared with Sentry Wards for this one. They're actually going to Timber Chain in, but they're not going for him. They're just scouting out this high ground. Dendi just trying to finagle his way into a good opening. Lotus the target here. They're going to prep with a missile. Is that hook shot available? Now the zip comes. They go in S4. Dendi zips on through. Now the Eclipse comes out, but Chen creeps. And BKB Gyro tanking every single beam. It does nothing to Loda.
Dropping
Almost
low.
dead, not dead yet. On the flip side comes your channel. That one also not very effective. The Chen creeps again working their magic. Luna as well as Lich just getting completely countered by Chen in these fights. Like, just awfully countered. Meanwhile, the base,
died in the base. Yeah.
S4's going to go down. Dendi's there with the triple kill. And there's your Wombo combo. Chen is the answer. You go Lich Luna, and the enemy team gets Chen, and you just can't do anything.
The Luna came after the Chen though, so that's a little bit awkward. But yeah.
Yeah, they first picked the Lich. The Luna came much later in the draft.
Yeah.
I feel if you want to run these heroes against Na'Vi, you need to ban Chen. Like,
It was Na'Vi that was banning a Chen. They thought, you know, perhaps it was their hero, but obviously not the case here.
Well, Na'Vi, they turn it back to what was once a best of 5. It became a best of 3, and now it's a best of 1, Lumi. We're going to game 5. I feel like we haven't had that epic game, but we might get
Reminds me of TI3 Grand Final, where the teams are like just slogging each other.
Yeah, TI3 was a little more hype, but these games have been good. I feel like they haven't given us like what you really expect from Na'Vi Alliance.
I think game 2 was pretty
That
good.
huge like epic game. Yeah, that game 2 is the best one so far.
So I think game 5 either pick clock, because perfect 100% win rate, or ban clock. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you have it, guys. We'll come back for game 5. Who's going to get clock? They'll be your winner after this.